feel free to ask any questions as we go in. Okay. Brilliant. So you're here today as part of our Life QI Getting Started. So this section of the training is going to take you through how to get into Life QI and kick off with running your quality improvement project within the platform. We're going to give you some basic navigation of the system as well. So hopefully you'll leave today knowing a bit more about the Life QI platform, how to run a quality improvement project, and also the key tools that the system offers you. The system, based on the Life QI, the platform is based on the IHI model for improvement, and the system has all of these tools in the platform to support you with running your quality improvement project. First things first, on the screen here, you will see that I am on the Life QI system website. If you do not yet have an account within Life QI, all you need to do is come to our website here and select the sign up link, and this will take you through the sign up process to sign up for your account within the Life QI platform. If you already have an account within Life QI, all you need to do is click the login button, and this will take you straight through to your sign-in credentials, where you pop in your email address and your password, and you will have access to the system. Few things about the website here. We have a wealth of information on our website, so please do come in and have a look at the different hints and tips that we have within the website to guide you through your use of the platform. Most importantly for yourselves when you're starting off with your use of the platform is to understand how to locate our help centre. Under the resources section here, you will see we have a dedicated section all about our blog, our webinars that we've run and how to watch them on demand, and most importantly, as I say, our help centre. So if I click on that link here, what that will do is take me straight through to our help centre, where we list out all of the different modules of the platform very, very simply, with all of the articles underneath them to guide you through your use of the platform. So please do come in here and have a look. We're going to be working through the Getting Started training guide today. So if I click on all articles, you'll see the Getting Started section for users. This is what we're going to be working through this morning. It's also worth noting throughout our Life QI platform, we do also have live chat available for you. So if you do have a question or a query and you'd like to get in contact with a member of our team here at Life QI, this is the easiest way to contact us within the Life QI support team. Please do reach out with any questions or queries that you have, or you're also able to raise a ticket with our support team if needed. So I'm going to jump into the Life QI system now, and as you see, we are directed straight to my start page. So I've logged into Life QI and I'm directed immediately to my start page, which is essentially your landing page for the platform. You can see here, the system is very, very clearly broken down into all of the different areas. We've got a glance bar here for my projects and where they are on the IHI project progress score, and I'll come back to that slightly later on. Any outstanding requests that you have, so anyone looking to join your project or anything like that, will show here on your request and invitations panel. So keep an eye on them, and here you'll have the ability to accept any requests that have come through to you. Just a quick bit more about the navigation of your start page. If I scroll down, you'll see all the project teams that I am part of, any projects that I'm running, any organisations that I am a member of, any groups that I'm part of, or any programs, and so on. So essentially your start page is quick links through to everything that you are running, and you have that ease of access to very, very easily navigate to the project or program that you are looking to participate in. A couple of other things, on each of our pages within Life QI, there is a Get Started link. If you click on that link, it will take you through to the help centre about that specific area. So we do have these help guides hinted to you within the platform to support you with your use of the platform. A couple of other things is you have the ability to edit your profile or change your password or anything like that on your account section here. So bear that in mind as well. Okay, so perfect. A couple of questions that Kerry's answering. Thank you, Kerry. So on the left-hand side here, you will see the navigation panel of the platform. This breaks down the system into all the different modules within Life QI. So we're going to be focusing on, without a doubt, the most important section of Life QI, which is running your quality improvement project. But what you can see is you have some other sections that you can start to come in and have a look at. So to create your first quality improvement project within Life QI, or if you're coming to run in your next QI project and this training session is a refresher, all you need to do is come in and click on the projects module. This will take you straight through to a list of your active projects. So I can see that by the filter on the right-hand side here. So do keep an eye on these filters, because sometimes people will search for a project, but that filter is narrowed down just to their projects. So if I want to understand other projects that are happening in Life QI before I actually create my own, what I can do is untick my projects, and you can see that we now have a project list. So it could be that I want to search for other quality improvement projects that are taking place around my specific topic that I am interested in. You can type in a keyword to the search bar here, and you will see that the system will then return a search of projects that have that keyword either in the title, the aim, or whether it's been tagged with that particular word. It is worth noting, when you create your quality improvement project, you set the privacy settings. By default, your project will be set to only members can view, which means that only the members listed on the project are going to be able to view it. If you want to open it up to the wider UK or whatever system you've signed into within the world, whichever platform you're signed into, you just need to mark that particular project as everyone can view. And that means that everyone within your system is able to view your work, but they are unable to make any edits to it. This can be really, really helpful, and it can serve as kind of a library of quality improvement work within the platform. So that's searching one way. What you can also do is tick on more filters, and all you need to do, you can see here, that you can filter projects in much more granular detail. So if you just want to search for a project that is scoring a 3.0 on the IHI project progress score, you can see you can filter the project list accordingly. So we have a number of different filters that you can apply to the project list search here. So that's searching for a project. What we're going to do now is we are going to kick off creating a quality improvement project in Life QI. So again, just to recap, I'm in the projects area here, and you can see a nice big start a new project button. So I'm going to click on that one there. And then what you are going to be asked to do is work through the initial project setup phase of your project. So you will see that you will have to give your project a title. That is a mandatory field, and you will not be able to go any further unless you have put your title of the project in there. It's worth noting you are able to make any edits to your project later down the line once you've created it, okay? But the title is a mandatory field. We are then asked for our problem behind our quality improvement project. So I'm going to put my problem in there, but keep an eye out for these information buttons that we have throughout the platform. If I click on that information button, you can see here for the problem, we're looking for a concise description of the issue to be addressed, and it should identify the gap between the current state and the desired state of the process system. So please do keep an eye out for these tooltips throughout the platform. They are here to help and advise and guide you through setting up your platform, and also through the longevity of your project as well. So then we click on next. And the next step here is, what are we trying to accomplish? So what is our aim of our QI project? Again, if you click on the tooltip here, you will see some points to consider when constructing your aim statement, and also an example of a good aim statement and a bad aim statement. I'm just going to pop my aim statement in here for us. And then the next section on this wizard is our rationale. So again, if I click on the information button, we are looking for a set of reasons for addressing the problem. And this should include why addressing the problem now is important. So we're going to pop in our rationale. As I say, it may be in your case that you may want to park some of these fields until you have created a project. We do recommend that you fill in as much as you can within this initial step, but you can, of course, come back and make any edits to that once the project has been created. The next section here is who's on our project team. You can see I've created the project, so it's put me down as the lead user and my organisation that I work at. So when you create a project, it will put yourself as the lead user because you've created it, and your organisation as the lead organisation. This is where you can start to build out your project team. So who's going to be working with you on your quality improvement project? If I click on invite new members, this will pull through the list of everyone that already has an account within LifeQI. So if you know that your colleague has already got an account, all you very simply do is add them to your quality improvement project. You can use the search bar to narrow down the search to their name. So I'm going to add Kerry today. I'm going to click on the plus sign next to her name, and it will default to give the person that you invite view rights on the project, which means they can view the work that you're running, but also edit permissions, which means that they can make any amendments to the project, such as add in data to your measures or add in some more drivers to your driver diagram. You can also set the role of the specific individual that you are inviting as well. So on my project, Kerry is going to be my improvement advisor, and I'm going to add Kerry. You can see now she's ready to be invited. You can invite as many people as you want to your quality improvement project. If you know that you're going to be working with someone on your project that doesn't yet have a LifeQI account, all you need to do is click on this Can't Find Someone tab, add in their email address, and that will initiate an email to them, and that will kick off their sign up to LifeQI. Once their account has been activated, they will be automatically listed as a member on your project. So on their start page, when they come in, your project will show for them. This section here is the privacy settings. So I mentioned this when we were searching for the project just a second ago. So as you can see, by default, it's listed as only members can view, which means that only the members listed on the members panel of the project are going to be able to view the full details of the project. If you want to open up your project wider and share your project, all you need to do is come in and you can see a drop down and you manually update that so everyone can view. Again, if you want any information about those terms, you can click on the information button here and you can see there's some more information for you. Then click on next. And then step 5 is about categorizing your project. And this is where, as part of an organization that you're working for or collaborative, anything like that, you can start to link your project to your organization's strategic goals or objectives that you have set. This can be particularly important because you can start to understand the quality improvement work that's happening within your organization and how that aligns to the overarching goals and objectives of your organization. So you can see here, I work at Bay Health General Hospital, and we have 5 priorities that our organisation is working towards. This is where I can say that my project is directly linked to improving patient experience at our organisation. So all I simply do is click on that one and it links that priority. You can also add tags to your projects, and tags work in a way a bit like the hashtags on Twitter, and it allows you to help with categorising and searching for your project. So it could be that you're working to some, you've got a couple of key terms that you want to tag your project with, or a condition that your project is targeting, or anything like that. It allows you to use tags for the projects that you're working on, and also really helps with the searching of it. So all you do is click on add a tag, and this project is aligned to pressure sores. So again, I can tag that project accordingly. You can also report on tags and linked priorities as well. So you can run off reports and on dashboards of the numbers of projects and the details of projects that align to either. Then click on next, and the next step here is our start date and our end date. So it's automatically put today as the start date, and then these are free date selectors, so you can come in and change the date however you want. And it could be within your hospital or your organisation. It's taking place within a specific ward or department or service. You can narrow down the location field here for you as well. Then click on create project. Okay, so what we're going to do now, so we've kicked off the initial creation of our QI project, and then we're going to get taken through to our project general page now. I'm just going to pause and just check in with Kerry and Rika if there's any questions that I can answer for you now.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Rika, your internet's going a little bit.
Oh, do you want me to pick? Shall I pick that one up just for a second? I think the internet connection seems to be not working.
Thank you, Kerry.
No worries. So do you have to input your hospital's priorities to begin with, or are they already built in?
Okay, great question. Thank you, Megan. So in terms of listing your organizational priorities, that will fall to your organizational profile page. So when you're in the platform, click on your organization, and if you have got priorities listed, they will show there on your profile page. The listing of these priorities or objectives will usually fall to the administrators of the organisation. So it's worth just sense checking who the admin of your organisation is, if there is one, and letting them know if you don't yet have priorities, that it's actually really helpful to have them there so that you can assign quality improvement work to those, so that you can evidence the quality improvement work that's happening at the trust or organisation.
We have another question from Sophie asking, it looks like I can't link a priority, maybe because my organization doesn't have any set.
Yeah, so thank you, Rika. Yeah, so it sounds like your organization hasn't got any listed on their profile page. So once they are listed there and you are a member of that organization, when you create your project, those priorities will automatically pull through for you. So again, just check on your organization's general page and see if you can see them clearly listed on your profile page. If you haven't got them, you will be able to add them in. You'll just need someone within the organization with the correct permissions to edit your organization's profile page. Okay, anything else, Rika or Carrie, or shall I carry on?
No, just carry on.
Great, thank you. Perfect. So now we have created our quality improvement project. We have now been taken through to our project general page that you can see on the screen here. Worth noting a couple of things around this. Every project is structured the same within LifeQI, and that is particularly helpful for you to understand the maturity of quality improvement projects and also where they are within the model for improvement journey. You can see here at the top, we have a glance bar. We've got our change score here, so our IHI score, which I will come back to in just a second. Our project team, we're getting a nice little nudge here that we need to start building out our driver diagram. Then we have our measures and our PDSAs. Before I go into the glance bar, if I just scroll down, you will see in the details section here, this is everything that we added in within that project wizard. And as I mentioned, if you need to come in and edit anything, you absolutely can. All you need to do is click on the edit button here, and you will see everything become changeable. So you may now want to come in and add in more priorities or add in further tags, or maybe you need to slightly adjust the rationale or the title or so when you're able to do that. You can also see that this project is marked as active as the status. If at any point in time your project is completed or actually you need to cancel your quality improvement project, we also have the ability to change the status of that as well. So it's definitely worth keeping your project as up to date as possible. Okay, so working through the glance bar here, first things first is the IHI project progress score. So the system is built around the 10-point IHI project progress score scale, where every project will start at 0.5, which is the intent to participate, with the aim to move further up the scale towards the improvement sections. It's really important to note that this score change is a manual task for the project team to do. And this is really, really important because all of the project IHI project progress scores will pull through to the analytics area. So it's really important that the score is a true reflection of where you are within your improvement journey of this quality improvement project. So I'm going to change my project progress score to a 1 because my planning for the project has begun. So all you need to do is click on the score, 1.5 click on the score and then select change score. And that will automatically update the score on your project general page. The next step here is our project team. And this is everyone that we invited. So we invited Kerry in those initial setup phases. But again, if you want to continue adding people to your team, if your team is growing over time, you are able to continuously add people. Or if you're an administrator for the project, you are able to remove people from the project as well. Just keeping on this pop out here, if I click on this section, this is our project timeline. Really, really helpful audit trail of our quality improvement project. You can see here 12 minutes ago we started the project, 6 minutes ago I invited Kerry, and I've just changed the project progress score. So it gives you a clear understanding of the activity of the project, or even perhaps the inactivity of the project, so that you can understand when things were last changed or when things were last added. Really helpful as well is that you can add to the timeline. So I can add a status update, a status change, or I can plan for a progress score change. So I'm going to add in a status update today, and I'm going to put in that we had a team huddle this morning and create that event. And you can see it's now logged that to our project timeline. So again, it allows you to come back and track what's been happening with this quality improvement project over time. You can also view your project on a calendar view, so you can see month on month how the project is progressing. And you can also understand who's made changes to the specific piece of work as well. Staying on this panel, underneath the timeline, we have the folder section. And this is where you can store any supporting files that you are working towards on your quality improvement project. Or again, if you are following any guidance for your quality improvement project, or you have any slide decks that you want to add into your project, you are able to upload them as a file to your project within LifeQI here. So you are able to store everything all in one place. This can be particularly helpful, especially if you are working across multi-teams or multi-organizations. It allows you to have that single space to store any supporting information of your quality improvement project. And lastly on this panel is the project megaphone. So this allows me to very, very quickly and efficiently write a message to my project team and then click on the Notify Project Team button. What that will then do is send an alert to everyone that's on the project that I've posted an update here. And it will just allow you to have that social space within the platform that's very, very easy to manage and to view. I'm going to pause there, and I've just seen we have a couple of questions in. So Tara, is the project timeline retrospective, or is it possible to... So no, you can add in things retrospectively, and you can add in things from now on, which is great. Can you set regular status updates? So you can't set them automatically. It will be a case of you going in and adding them in Dawn, unfortunately. Okay, does that make sense? So it would just be a case of coming in and adding to timeline, and you can filter here by future events or historical events as well. Perfect, thank you. Okay, I'll carry on. The next step within our quality improvement project, so we've had a look at the change score, we've had a look at our project team and how to add more people if we need to. The next step here is to start building out our driver diagram for this particular project. So I'm going to click on the start button. So for those that don't know, driver diagrams are fantastic planning tools in quality improvements. And again, we've got a Get Help link here, which if I click on that link, it will take me straight through to the Help Centre, all about driver diagrams. So if you want to do a bit of research or some further reading before you kick off your driver diagram, please do check out our Help Centre, because we've got a wealth of information here. So I'm going to jump back to my driver diagram page, and you can see I need to click on Edit to start adding drivers to our driver diagram. So all I do, click on the Edit button, and you will now see that the fields become changeable. This is the aim that we added into our QI project at the beginning, so it's very nicely pulled through to our driver diagram. However, if you do need to edit it, you can just see, you can click on the pencil and you can make any amendments to that. So to build out our driver diagram, what we're going to do is click on the plus sign here, and you can see that that then pulls through our first primary driver box. So I'm going to add in a couple of primary drivers here for us. So very simply, all you do is click on the plus sign and you build out your primary drivers. So I've got 3 primary drivers to start off with. What I now want to do is build out my secondary drivers that link to my primary drivers. So let's go for treatment. And I've got, so in line with treatment, I have support services. I have dressing saws, and I have new devices and techniques. So very, very simply, you can see how it starts to build out. I'm just going to save that. And you can see very simply, LifeQI does all of that heavy lifting for you. So I'm going to add in a couple more, one to monitoring. And I'm going to do one for prevention. Okay. Just like that. And again, save any changes. So we've now built out our primary drivers and our secondary drivers that are all linked to our aim of our quality improvement project. The change ideas section here are what you're going to be concentrating on through your plan, do, study, act cycles. So I'm going to add in a few change ideas now. Let me just this one here. Okay. Just like so. Okay, a couple of other things I'm going to do before we go any further is you are able to color code your driver diagram if you want to. You don't have to, it's not mandatory, but I personally find it particularly helpful to do this. So let's just label these. And again, you can label them as you wish. Let's just do these. And then save any changes. Then what you can do is you can come in and you can color code your drivers. Got color code a few of these in just to show you how easy it is. And a couple of other things, if you are exporting any of our driver diagrams for presentations, which we have, which most of our projects will do, so you are able to change the color of the text, just makes it a little bit easier to read on some of the paler colors that I've chosen here. And again, click on save. And then lastly, on our driver diagram, it looks very neat and tidy at the moment because all of the lines are very nicely going from left to right. I know in quality improvement that a lot of drivers will be interlinked. So what you are able to do is move from right to left on the driver diagram as well. So I know that this secondary driver of timing of checks is also linked to prevention. So you are able to link multiple drivers together. So if I just show you that again, click on the pin of the first driver and then the pin of the corresponding driver that you want to link it to, and you can see the linkages then go the other way as well. And then click on save. A couple of other things is you are able to expand your driver diagram. So you can work on it and kind of a popped out view because there are some very, very large driver diagrams in the platform. So it just allows you to have that more visibility of the driver diagram all on one page. And you can also view the history of the driver diagram. So again, this is really, really important, especially working as part of a large quality improvement team. You are able to understand how the quality improvement project has evolved and how the driver diagram has evolved with it. And that's really, really important in quality improvement projects. So 3 minutes ago, when I first did it, it looked like this. Every time you click save, it saves a new record of it. And then we can see how the driver diagram has evolved. So again, a very, very helpful way of understanding the pieces of work that are happening and the kind of the theories behind that. Okay, I'm going to pause there and just see if there's any questions on driver diagrams before I head over to measures and charts.
No, we don't have any questions, Erica. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Rika. Okay, measures and charts. LifeQI has a number of different measures and charts that you can use in order to track your data over time. Again, if you need any help with any aspects of our measures, please do navigate to our help center where we have understanding measures and the difference between run charts and SVC charts and how to interpret an SVC chart and so on. It will also take you through creating your measure and also adding data to your chart, which is what I'm going to go through now. So to create your first measure, all you do is click on the new measure button. Give your measure a title. So I'm just going to put percentage of staff trained. So you will see the title and the measure type is a mandatory field. So you will need to complete these before you go anywhere else. The measure type here, for those that aren't aware, we use outcome process or balance measures within LifeQI. This section here is asking you to define which type of measure it is. And if you aren't quite sure, come in and have a look at our guide here. We then have a section here for free text for our operational definition. And this is where you can describe your measure in quantifiable terms and include what to measure and the steps to follow to measure it consistently. So again, this is free text. So I'm going to this section, the operational definition and the data collection plan are particularly helpful for you to fill in if, for example, you are creating a measure, but for someone else in your team to come and add the data. It will enable them to understand what specific data sources you are using to pull that data and how often the data is going to be collected. So again, this is a free text box here. This drop down is where you select your chart type. And again, if you're unsure of the type of chart you should be using for your data, click on this wizard here and it will take you through all of our charts that we have available at the moment within LifeQI, a description of each of those charts, the examples of where they're used, and the data that you will need to capture in order to use that chart for your measure. So you can see here we've got a run chart, an I chart, a C chart, a U chart, P chart, T, G, and X bar S. For this particular measure, I'm going to be using a P chart, and my data to capture it will be looking for a time period, a count, and a total, and then LifeQI will display that as a total percentage. So I'm going to use a P chart today. The next drop down here is our data collection frequency. So do we know if we're going to be collecting the data yearly, quarterly, monthly, or daily? We've got those fields pre-assigned. Or if your data is going to be a bit more sporadic or kind of more custom, you are able to select the custom fields here for you. So I'm going to be collecting monthly data for this particular measure. What you can then do on this step is actually link this measure to one of the drivers on your driver diagram. Again, this allows you to really understand the story and how the data that you are collecting ultimately affects the aim that you are looking to achieve. So I'm going to link this particular primary driver to my primary driver of treatment. What that will also show is on our driver diagram, you will see on that driver that there's a linked measure. So again, it allows you to really understand the changes that you're making and the data that you are collecting and how that is working towards your overarching aim. Then click on Create Measure. And what we will be taken through to now is our measure page. So before I add in any data, I'm just going to jump over to this Plan tab here, and that will show you everything that we've just filled in. So if you do need to make any amendments, just click on the Edit button here, and you will see all the fields that are changeable. So you can change the measure type if you needed to, the title, or the operational definition. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to add in some data to our chart. So what I need to do is click on Add a Chart, give my chart a title. Okay, click on Add a Row. And don't forget, so we selected a P chart and it was a monthly data collection frequency. So my LifeQI data sheet, excuse me, is going to expect the time period of a month, the count and the total, and LifeQI will calculate the percentage total for me. So what I wanted to show you is how you are able to copy and paste data from Excel if you have an Excel spreadsheet straight into LifeQI, or of course you can manually add in data. So first things first is I have a spreadsheet here of some data. I'm very simply just going to copy the columns that I want to copy across. Please note, I haven't included any title columns, okay? So just the raw data. So we've got the month, the count, and the total. I'm going to jump back into LifeQI, and I'm very simply going to paste that data into the first box, and then click on Create Chart. What you will then see is we can see a spark line of the chart. I've already got a bit of a hint here that my data is overdue. If I click into the chart now, you will see that LifeQI has drawn that P chart for me based on the data that I have had added in. Okay, so very, very easy to copy and paste data into LifeQI. And again, LifeQI will do all of that heavy lifting of the chart for you. So we've got a P chart here. We've got our upper and lower control limits, and we have our center line. You can see here that LifeQI has detected that I have high variation. I have 2 outliers, and if you click on the outlier points, it will give you the rule, and also that I have a trend in this section of the data as well. So if I click on edit and scroll down, this is our LifeQI data sheet. So this is the data that I've just added in. If you now want to come in and manually add in any data, all you do is very easily add in the next month, and then very simply add in the data here. LifeQI will automatically want to redraw the chart for you, and it's popped that data point in there for me. A couple of other things about the charts. We have 3 phases on our chart. We have our baseline phase, our test phase, and our sustain phase. This chart here, you can see, is still in its baseline phase because I haven't fixed the baseline for the data yet. So what I want to do is I want to fix the baseline on this particular chart. Make sure you're in edit mode when you want to make any changes to the charts. And you will see I want to fix the baseline of this point. So I'm going to select next phase. Just going to save that. Just going to refresh the page, and you can see now it's fixed the baseline from that specific point. And this is the chart projecting the center line moving forward. But I actually want to adjust the control limits. So click on the next data point, recalculate control limits, just going to save it again. It's worth noting, I'm aware that this is quite a lot of information for the data aspects of LifeQI, so please do check out our help centre, which we've got some videos and some guides about doing all of this, so please don't worry, you're not alone. So what you can see now is that we fixed the baseline from that particular point, and projecting forward, we are now in the testing phase, and the upper and lower control limits have recalculated based on the data. We can also see here that we have high variation and we have a trend. What I can also do, if I click on edit again, is I can annotate my chart. So for this particular outlier point, I want to put that this was high. So on this particular data point, there was a high number of staff working from home. They attended my training session, so on. Anything like that, if there was a public holiday on that particular data point, just allows you to understand any specifics on that particular data that you need to be aware of that will help you understand what the chart is telling you. So I'm going to add that note there. What you can also do is once we've added in a PDSA, you can link the PDSA to a specific data point. So again, you can understand the changes that you are making and how that is having an overall effect on the data that you are collecting. And if you are beginning to see an improvement or whether you're not seeing improvement. Okay, so we haven't created any PDSAs yet, so I'm going to hold on to that. But when you have, this drop down will pull through your list and you can assign the relevant PDSA cycle to your data point. Click on save and you can see that my chart is beginning to take shape now. A couple of other things on the chart itself is you are able to export the data sheet. So this is the data sheet here. You are able to export that off LifeQI into a CSV file if you needed to. And you also can export the chart as an image, so you can take that off LifeQI. You can also export your driver diagram from the platform as well in the same way. Click on Actions and export your driver diagram. And that means that you can utilize what you have built within the platform, outside of the platform for any presentations, slide decks, posters, anything like that, you're able to do so. Okay, I'm going to pause there and just see if there's any questions around measures, because I'm aware that is quite a lot of information to take in.
No, we don't have any particular questions, Erika, thank you.
Thank you, Rika. Just a couple of other things on our measures and charts page. The measures will be listed out by their whether they're outcome, process or balance. It just allows you to understand how many outcome measures you have on your project, how many balance measures and how many process measures you have. Before I jump into PDSAs, I'm just going to jump back to our project general page because you'll begin to understand how our project is evolving. So you can see here, we've got an overview of the driver diagram. We have one measuring chart and the platform's giving a nice little nudge to us that we now need to come in and create our PDSA cycles. So this would always be a good time to reflect back and check that your project progress score is accurate as to where you are within your quality improvement project. Okay, so please do remember to make sure that your score is a reflection of where you are and the changes that you are testing. So the next thing we need to do is build out our PDSA. So again, we have a help link here all around PDSA, so please do go in and have a look at that. So PDSAs are going to be our plan, do, study, acts that we are going to run as part of our quality improvement project. So we now want to kick off a new PDSA ramp. So all you do is click on the new PDSA ramp button, and you can see we're going to be directed to fill out a new PDSA wizard. So again, the title is a mandatory field, so make sure you have your title ready to go. We then have our aim. So what is your aim of your PDSA? You can then link it to your change ideas. So again, your change ideas are on your driver diagram, and your PDSAs can then link to your change ideas. So it allows you to tell the story of your quality improvement project and how the PDSAs that you are running directly link to your driver diagram. If for any reason your PDSA is a standalone PDSA cycle and isn't linked to a change idea, just leave this drop down blank, okay? You don't need to fill anything in, it's not mandatory. But if I click on the drop down, it will pull through the change ideas that are listed on the driver diagram. So I'm going to link it to this particular change idea. Click on next. Who's responsible for running it? When is it going to be run? And you can narrow down the location. So we're in Exeter, I'm going to narrow down that location. You then have a section here to provide any overview or further notes within your PDSA. So I've got a few things here I'm going to add in. And then we're also able to add a task if we want to. So we've got a to-do list around this PDSA, and what do we need to do in order to achieve what we want to set out to achieve. So I'm just going to keep this one nice and simple. Click on next, and what do we predict will happen from running this PDSA? Click on create PDSA cycle. And you can see now we're taken through to the first cycle of our PDSA. We've got our plan very clearly listed out. We haven't got any linked measures, but you can link your PDSA to any measures that you're running. And then down here, we have the do, the study, and the act. So when you're running your PDSAs, you just need to come in and log everything that you are doing. And LifeQI provides a very methodical way of running your PDSAs. You can see here it's very clear. You're able to understand what step you need to go to next. So I'm going to click on edit, and you can see it all becomes changeable. And this is where you can come in and actually add in what happened when you ran your PDSA. How does that compare to your prediction? And what are you going to do next? So these are all free text boxes. Once you've completed this cycle, so you've completed the plan, the do, the study, and the act, you are then able to create your next cycle until you reach your desired outcome. I'm going to click on save here. I'm just going to jump back up. If you click on tasks, you will see the tasks that we listed out. And these are fluid. You can keep adding to the tasks throughout the PDSA that you wish to. And you can then tick them off accordingly as well. So you can tick off your to-do list, which is always quite a nice feeling when you do tick off your tasks. If I just come back to the PDSA list here, you will see this is how they are then displayed on your overarching PDSA page. So we've got the PDSA ramp, and we have one cycle. So just in terms of the terminology, this is a cycle. So you can see we've just filled out our plan. When we fill out our do, our study, or our act, these quadrants will go to that darker shade of blue. So you will see how far into the PDSA cycle you are. The PDSA cycles sit within a ramp. And the ramp for this, in this case, is linked to a change idea. So it allows you to really understand how advanced the PDSA cycles are in line with the change ideas listed on your driver diagram. You will then have different ramps listed out for each of your change ideas if you are running PDSAs assigned to each of your change ideas. What I'm going to do is I've just got a populated project to show you how that looks like. So again, on the general page here, you can see how much more mature this quality improvement project is. It does have quite a large driver diagram, but having a large driver diagram doesn't always mean that it's a better project. It's just, as you can see, it's quite detailed. This project's scoring a 4.5. It's got 10 measures and 14 charts, and we've got 5 PDSA ramps and 9 cycles. So I'm just going to navigate to this page here just to show you how it starts to build out and what it starts to look like. So you can see for this particular project, there are 4 PDSA ramps, all linked to different change ideas. But as an example, you can see that this section here, this PDSA ramp, has got 2 complete cycles and 1 cycle in its plan stage. So it just allows you to understand where you are within that process and how far advanced the PDSAs are. It may be that you reach your outcome with running 1 PDSA cycle and you've completed it. Fantastic. Not always the case, so it allows you to make those small changes to keep testing your changes throughout the life cycle of your project. Last section on our quality improvement project that we've built out together this morning is a discussion section within the project. On each quality improvement project, you will have this discussion element that you can use for that social aspect of your quality improvement project. This is the project notice board, and this will be here by default on all of your quality improvement projects, and this pulls through anything that you have posted in the megaphone. So it stores it all in one place on the project notice board. You are able to start new discussions with anyone in your project team if you want to. So it allows you to keep your quality improvement discussions in your quality improvement project. So it's much more easy to navigate. You are also able to upload any files or folders to your discussion threads as well. And again, just allows you to have everything in one place for ease of access. So again, if I just jump back to our populated project and just show you a populated discussion board, this is what it will begin to look like. So you can see an audit trail of all of the messages, and if you want to attach a file, you are also able to do that as well. To post a comment, all you do is come in and write your message and click on post comment, and anyone that's a member of that particular notice board or discussion thread will be sent an email alert that you've updated in the discussion thread, and a link in that email to come back into the project and have a look at it. Perfect. I mentioned at the beginning about how helpful the project general page is in terms of understanding where projects are within their life cycle. So again, if you are working as part of your organisation to support and help people with their quality improvement projects, just coming in and having a view of the glance bar will provide you with so much information to be able to support your colleagues with their work that they're doing. Or also perhaps just give you a nudge that some activities due or you need to change your project progress score on the project. So if I just show you this one again and then jump back to the project that we've created together, you can see it's really easy to compare and contrast where we are within the life cycles of our quality improvement project. A couple of other things you can do within your project general page section here is you are also able to run a report of your project. So when you come into the platform, click on reports, and you will have available to you a few project reports that you can run. This will enable you to essentially pull off the information that you have added into LifeQI. So you're able to have a copy of all the work that you have run. The levels of reports are completely different. Some will be quite brief and some will pull through quite a lot of information. So do take a look at what reports you have access to when you run in and when you come into LifeQI, but it's a great way to be able to get that information out of the platform if you ever needed to. Okay, those were the main sections that I wanted to take you through today in order to get you up and running within LifeQI, searching for any quality improvement projects, and essentially kicking off your quality improvement projects within the platform. I'm going to pause there. We're a couple of minutes early, but just check if there's any other questions or queries that I can answer before we close out today's session.
Yes, Erika, we have a question. Is it possible to add the picture of the chart PDSA if we have drawn one out by hand as part of a workshop? Can we add this in or do we have to type it up?
Great question. So what you are able to do, I think it was from Sophie, what you are able to do, and thank you, Rika, is you could upload that particular picture as a document to your project. So again, you just come into the folder area here and you can save that picture that you've created on your computer and then upload that as a file so that other people within the project are able to view that. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Erika.
You're welcome.
Coming from Megan. Can you do process maps?
Great question, Megan. So at the moment, we are unable to do process maps within LifeQI, but again, I know a lot of people will do exactly as Sophie questioned. So you are able to upload your process map that you have designed outside of LifeQI into the platform for the time being. We are working on process maps as part of a development roadmap of LifeQI for the future. So watch this space, but at the moment, we are unable to accommodate them within LifeQI.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Sorry, just one further bit of information that I just wanted to add. We've actually recently added an improvement hub and improvement resources to our website. So if anybody is interested in templates, in particular information around coaching, all of those sorts of things, if you click on the improvement hub, Erica, just you can see there's quite a few downloads in there, so do feel free to pop in, have a look. You can view different pages on different subject areas, and also if you go back to the resources tab and click on the on that one, that's right, the improvement resources, you can see that there's lots of different downloads available now for free. So there's lots of information here, a cheat sheet on quality improvement coaching, and so forth. So again, they could well be helpful information for you to take away.
That's great. Thank you, Kerry. Yeah, lots of fantastic information there to share with you all. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. We hope you found it helpful. As ever, if you have any questions and queries, please do come through to us on live chat or through our email address, which is help@lifeqisystem.com. We are here to support you through your use of the platform, but also please do have a look at our help centre and these improvement resources and hub that Kerry has mentioned as well. Okay, if there aren't any other questions, I will then stop the call and wish you a very, very good day, and thank you again for your time.